The spirit of brotherhood in America took a direct hit today when the Supreme Court ruled that flag burning is a form of free speech protected by the Bill of Rights of the Constitution.
That's freedom of speech! Freedom of speech right here!
The Supreme Court decision kicked off demonstrations by protesters testing the ruling, protests that included flag burning and other desecrations of the national symbol, prompting calls for a constitutional amendment to protect the flag.
And I was deeply hurt because of the way I was taught and to believe that the flag of the United States should always be honored and protected with the same dignity as the life that is lost any time that our nation has to go to war.
In a world so poor, with not enough to eat, where children beg for food, and mothers walk the street, and what people make a year only keeps you in there. Where do you find the time? Where do you find the time to have war on your mind? In a world so lost and marked with pain and hate, where the risk of having peace is no profit and no rate, where the rifle and the knife have become a way of life. Where do you find the time? Where do you find the time to have war on your mind? In a world of need, with people crying out for a better way of life, while their living is in doubt, and with a dream still in their eyes, they are blinded by the lies. So tell me, where do you find the time? Where do you find the time to have war on your mind?
A New York veteran is on a mission to have a flag he created in honor of 9/11 flown across New York State. News 12's Janelle Burrell has more from Yonkers.
Its bold colors and prominent image of a mother and child, its creator says, is a universal symbol of the innocent lost and missing to acts of terrorism.
You had to find something that was unique, that honored people in a special way, that didn't conflict with the American flag, a POW, or a state flag.
For years, 73-year-old veteran Ron Sorenson has traveled the country and the world with his Missing in Action Attack on Our Nation flag. Wednesday, he was joined by local officials in Yonkers to raise the flag above Stu Leonard's to honor those lost 10 years ago in the September 11th terrorist attacks.
They were just ordinary people on an ordinary day going about their business, and history repeated itself.
The black and gold design has already flown at Ground Zero's Freedom Tower, the only flag to fly there other than the Stars and Stripes. But Sorenson's ultimate goal is to have it fly across New York State. A bill is now being sponsored in Albany by Assemblyman George Latimer.
For some of us, it's an everyday remembrance. People that we knew, people that we worked with, people that we loved in our communities who died, and to have a permanent remembrance of that with the symbol that we look to.
It represents our military, our civilians, our law enforcement, life-saving people, the people who cleaned up Ground Zero. It represents all of us.
While state officials say they're continuing to work to get this flag flown across the state, Yonkers City Council members tell us it will be flown across City Hall this weekend in time for the 10th anniversary. In Yonkers, Janelle Burrell, News 12.
My name is Ronald James Sorenson. I did not lose a member of my family. But like many of us that are here today, the reflection upon what happens to us throughout our lives and the loss of life because of terrorism affected me. The operating engineers, Local 138, and the building trades put up that memorial. 7 years ago, I went in to the operating engineers and said, listen, I'm making this flag and I need help. They said, we want you to go down to this memorial that we're starting to make. And I went there and I met this World War II Marine. I'm a Korean War era Marine. And I looked at this and I says, my God, what they're doing here. And I started to work on a flag called the Missing in Attack on Our Nation flag. You'll always be remembered. They have placed that flag at this memorial. I hope to God it stays here at least as long as I live. I am so moved to be here among you people. And one of the last things that I'd like to do is to give the Nassau County Executive, he has a beautiful flagpole in that building where you stay, sir. May I please approach you, please. Open the flag and give it to you? And we also gave it to West Point, the people who serve there. I am deeply moved to shake your hand. Am I welcome? Absolutely. Welcome. I love that pole you have out there. Yes, sir. It's a pleasure to say hello, everybody.
Thank you. It'll be an honor to display the flag. I'm New York City Councilman Dan Halloran. Along with my colleague Oliver Coppell, we introduced legislation at City Hall to have this flag flown. And we've indicated that the state of Rhode Island and townships in New Jersey are already flying this flag. It's people like Mr. Sorenson who are out there banging the drum for us to remind us that we have an obligation not only to those who are missing in action overseas, but those who are missing in action right here. Hundreds of our citizens who we know were lost, never had them recovered from the site. Many families never got to bury their loved ones. It's important that we as New Yorkers take the lead on something like this, and we have to say, it's about time. It's time for us to say to those who are missing that we will remember you, that our city buildings will remember you, and that for the month of September, this flag should be flying all over the city of New York. The cost to produce it is not an issue. Getting people who want to have it flown is not an issue. It's the bureaucracy. It's the political wrangling. That's the problem. And I will continue to push. I've been pushing the Speaker's office to move forward with this, and I will continue to push the Speaker's office to move forward with this. It's the 10th anniversary. It's about time.
Things like this, people getting together, just showing their appreciation for the armed forces is the reason why we become troopers, the reason why we become patriots of this country.
What Ron James has done, and this I think is the tying element to 9/11, is dedication. That he cared about something so much to fight and to travel and to convince and persuade people, including hardball politicians like me and Indy, to do the right thing. At the end of the day, it's been Ron's dedication that there be a special flag to honor what happened that day to the people who showed dedication, and for those people who we always keep in our heart. And on that story, Ron hasn't lost a thing. Ron kept the fire burning, and now in the next few days you will see that all of America will look at New York and Pentagon and so forth, and will remind ourselves of the dedication of those wonderful people that died. 2,977 of them died that day, but all the rest of America are with them. And Ron, you've kept that flame alive. Thank you, and God bless you.
And it was this man that came up with the idea to unite not just our country, but our whole world. Because terrorism is one thing that is just not unique to the United States. It's unique to the entire world. And if we had one flag that could unify the entire world, what a great thing that would be.
America is a great country not because of its government, but because of men and women who fought and served our country and made this country free the way it is. Thank you for all that you do.
Broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, for the ramparts we watched were so